There comes a point in your journey where your silence becomes louder than your words. There comes a moment when the best clapback is not with your tongue, with your peace. You see, that the people who thought they could break you, the ones who thought they could humiliate you, left haunted by one thing they did not expect: your silence. When you refuse to react, when you refuse to step down to their level, when you hold your peace and let your dignity speak for you, it does something to them. Your silence becomes a mirror. It forces them to see themselves. It forces them to wrestle with their own poison. Because here's the truth. What they wanted was your reaction. They wanted your anger. They wanted your bitterness. They wanted to see you unravel. But when you hold your peace, you deny them the satisfaction. You strip them of the power they thought they had over you. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strength wrapped in wisdom. Silence is saying, I don't have to fight this battle because I know who I am. You are not obligated to attend every argument you are invited to. You are not required to prove your worth to people who were blind to it from the beginning. So keep your silence, because your silence is screaming. Your silence says, I will not be defined by your disrespect. Your silence says, I know my value. Your silence says, the noise around me cannot drown out the peace within me. And let me tell you this, your silence after the disrespect is not only killing them, it's healing you. Every time you choose silence, you're choosing growth. Every time you choose silence, you're preserving your energy. Every time you choose silence, you're saying, I am too focused on my future to waste time with petty battles. There are times in life when silence is the loudest voice you can ever have. People often mistake silence for surrender. They confuse it with fear. They think that if you are not talking back, not clapping back, not raising your voice, you must be weak. But silence is not weakness. Silence is not cowardice. Silence is not ignorance. Silence is power. It is discipline. It is self-control clothed in grace. You see, anybody can shout when they are angry. Anybody can lose control when they are provoked. Anybody can throw words around like stones when they feel disrespected. But it takes a person of true strength to remain calm when the world is trying to pull them into chaos. It takes a strong spirit to say, I don't need to answer to everything. I don't need to fight every battle. I don't need to prove myself to people who already made up their minds about me. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. When you choose silence, you are not choosing defeat. You are choosing mastery. You are saying that your peace is more valuable than your pride. You are declaring that your future is worth more than this fleeting moment of disrespect. Silence is the language of maturity, and maturity always carries strength. Because silence doesn't mean you don't have words. It means your words are too precious to waste on ears that won't value them. There are seasons where your silence will protect you more than your speech ever could. When you are quiet, you give yourself time to think, time to process, time to rise above the heat of the moment. Your silence becomes your shield. And while others expect you to fight in the mud, you remain untouchable because you refuse to get dirty. That's not weakness. That's strategy. That's wisdom in motion. Always be people who test you, people who disrespect you, people who underestimate you. They want to provoke you. They want to pull you out of character. They want to see you unravel. They live for the reaction. They feed off the chaos. When you give them nothing but silence, when you hold your ground and let your peace do the talking, you rob them of the very thing they crave. You are not weak. You are untouchable. Do not let anyone trick you into believing that you have to always respond, always explain, always defend. The truth is, your silence often says more than your words ever could. Silence says, I am in control of myself. Silence says, you don't determine my value. Silence says, your disrespect does not dictate my destiny. And let's be honest, people notice your silence. They feel it. It shakes them because they thought you would fight back. They thought you would lose your cool. They thought you would get on their level. When you stay calm, when you choose silence, you expose their own insecurity. They are left wrestling with themselves while you walk away with your dignity intact. Silence also teaches you patience. It allows you to listen more than you speak. It opens space for understanding, for clarity, for growth. Some of the greatest breakthroughs come in silence. Some of the deepest healing happens in silence. Some of the most powerful moves of life and faith are birthed in silence. Because when you are quiet, you can hear more clearly. Not just the noise around you, the whispers within you, the guidance you need, the strength you carry. People may mock you for being silent. They may think you are avoiding the fight because you are scared. What they don't realize is that silence is a choice that requires more strength than yelling ever will. Shouting back is easy. Walking away with your peace takes power. And that power is not the kind that fades. It is the kind that builds you, preserves you, and protects your future. Think about it. When has shouting ever changed the heart of someone who was determined to disrespect you? When has arguing ever convinced a person who was committed to misunderstanding you? Words in the wrong place only add fuel to the fire. Silence extinguishes the flame. Silence starves the chaos. Silence takes away the power of the one who tries to provoke you. It is not weakness, that is mastery. Sometimes silence is also a form of warfare. It confuses your enemies. It unsettles those who thought they knew how to manipulate you. They cannot fight with someone who refuses to pick up the weapon. They cannot win against someone who has chosen peace. When you stop playing their game, you've already won. And though they may not admit it, your silence becomes their defeat. There will be people who will never understand your silence. They will call you cold, distant, unbothered. You don't owe them an explanation because you know that every word you didn't say is a battle you didn't waste your energy on. Every argument you didn't enter is a weight you didn't carry. Every silence you chose was a step closer to peace. And the truth is, silence also heals you. It keeps your spirit from being polluted by bitterness. It guards your heart from words you can never take back. It allows you to walk away whole instead of broken by the things you let come out of your mouth in anger. Sometimes the greatest act of strength is to say nothing and let time, truth, and character speak for you. Never confuse silence with weakness. Weakness is when you let others control your emotions. Weakness is when you let someone else's actions decide your peace. Weakness is when you fight every battle just because you were provoked. Strength is knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. Strength is knowing that silence doesn't mean defeat. It means wisdom. It means patience. It means you are too focused on your destiny to be distracted by disrespect. So the next time someone disrespects you and the urge rises to clap back, pause and remember this: silence is not weakness. Silence is a choice. Silence is a shield. Silence is your power wrapped in peace. And though they may not understand it, your silence will speak volumes. It will say to the world, I am strong enough to walk away. I am wise enough to hold my tongue. I am powerful enough to protect my peace. There are people who live off your reaction. They thrive on seeing you lose your composure. They poke at your peace because they want to watch you explode. They disrespect you not because they have power, because they are desperate to see whether they can pull you out of character. They insult, they mock, they provoke, hoping that the fire inside of you will ignite in anger, that your words will fly like daggers, that you will fight on their level. But when you choose silence, you cut off their supply. Your silence denies them the satisfaction they crave. Your silence starves the drama they wanted to feed on. Your silence leaves them standing there with nothing but the sound of their own voice echoing in the room. Your silence is powerful because it refuses to give energy to foolishness. When you remain quiet, when you refuse to be dragged into the mud, you expose something that words could never reveal. You expose their desperation. You expose their emptiness. You expose that the fight was never really about you. It was about them. Your silence holds up a mirror to their behavior. In that reflection, they are forced to confront the ugliness of their actions. Nothing makes a disrespectful person more uncomfortable than when you don't answer them back. Because when you don't respond, they are left to wrestle with their own words. Think about it. When somebody disrespects you and you argue back, the attention shifts. It no longer becomes about their action. It becomes about the argument. The spotlight moves from their behavior to the back and forth exchange. When you refuse to react, when you choose silence, the spotlight stays exactly where it belongs, on them. They cannot hide from what they said. They cannot shift blame. They cannot distract anyone with your anger. Silence keeps the focus on their behavior, and that is what torments them. This is why silence is not passive, it is active resistance. It's saying, I see what you're trying to do, and I refuse to play along. It's the refusal to give someone control over your emotions. Because let's be real, people who disrespect you are not always seeking truth, they're seeking reaction. They want to know that they have power over you. They want to see you sweat. They want to know that their words got under your skin. But silence says, no, you don't control me. You don't decide how I respond. You don't have that kind of access to my peace. That's not weakness. That's strength beyond measure. And silence doesn't just deny them the reaction they want, it reveals their own character to everyone watching. When you refuse to engage, people see the contrast. They see the dignity in your silence and the immaturity in their outburst. They see the wisdom in your restraint and the foolishness in their provocation. They see who is truly in control. Silence becomes a testimony of your discipline and a revelation of their lack of it. Have you ever noticed how silence makes people uncomfortable? It's because silence leaves space, and in that space, people's true nature surfaces. The guilty feel exposed. The loud become louder. The insecure scramble to justify themselves. But the one who remains silent carries an unshakable presence. You don't need to fight to prove who you are. You don't need to shout to demonstrate your worth. Your silence already declared it. Your silence is not about ignoring the wrong done to you. It's about refusing to be reduced by it. It's about showing that you don't have to play every game you're invited to. Not every table deserves your presence. Not every argument deserves your voice. Sometimes the best answer you can give is none at all, because silence has a way of speaking louder than anything you could say. Silence shouts, I am not here to entertain foolishness. Silence declares, I am above this level. Silence announces, I am protecting my peace. And the beauty of silence is that it reveals what words cannot. When you stay quiet, people begin to reveal themselves. They show you who they truly are without you having to say a word. Silence exposes motives. Silence uncovers hidden agendas. Silence brings clarity. The more you refrain from reacting, the more they unravel. And in their unraveling, truth becomes visible, not because you fought for it, but because you allowed them to expose it themselves. Your silence is not about them. It's about you. It's about your growth, your discipline, your future. Every time you refuse to react, you save yourself from battles that are not worth fighting. Every time you choose silence, you are saying, I value my peace more than I value being right in this moment. Every time you hold back, you are investing in your destiny instead of wasting energy on temporary disrespect. There is power in silence that many will never understand. They will think you are ignoring when in reality you are elevating. They will think you are weak when in reality you are strong enough not to be moved. They will think you have no response when in reality your silence is the greatest response. Because silence doesn't just deny them, it exposes them. It strips away the masks. It forces truth into the open. Remember this, people are revealed not only by what they say, by how they act when you don't respond. Some will become louder. Some will become bitter. Some will even try harder to provoke you. That's not your problem. That's their reflection. Your silence already did the work of exposing them. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to prove yourself. In your quiet strength, you've already shown the difference between you and them. So the next time someone disrespects you, the next time someone provokes you, the next time someone tries to drag you into a fight that is beneath you, remember this truth. Your silence denies them the reaction they want and exposes their own behavior. Don't hand over your peace for the price of proving a point. Don't trade your dignity for the satisfaction of a quick clapback. Keep your silence because your silence is louder than their noise. When the dust settles, when the noise fades, it won't be your anger that is remembered. It will be your strength. It will be your composure. It will be your peace. Your silence will stand as a witness. You were bigger than the disrespect, stronger than the provocation, wiser than the trap. Your silence is not just the absence of sound. It is the presence of power. It is the denial of their control and the revelation of their character. So walk with that strength, hold your peace, and let your silence speak for you. Because in the end, silence will say everything that needs to be said and more. There comes a time in life when you realize that not every battle is worth fighting. Not every argument is worth entering. Not every attack deserves a response. Life will present you with people who misunderstand you, disrespect you, and even attempt to tear you down. They will do everything in their power to bait you into conflict because they want to see you lose your peace. But here is the truth that many miss. Silence is a powerful response. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not surrender. Silence is strength under control. And it is one of the most effective shields you will ever carry in this life. Silence protects both your dignity and your energy. Your dignity is your crown. It is the way you carry yourself, the value you place on yourself, and the standard you set for how others are allowed to treat you. When you react to every insult, every slight, every attempt to belittle you, you risk lowering yourself to a level that is beneath you. Silence holds you steady. Silence says, I know who I am, and I will not be reduced by your behavior. Silence keeps your crown on your head. It ensures that you remain in control of yourself while others lose control of themselves. It allows you to walk away with your honor untouched. Because the truth is sometimes people are not insulting you because of who you are, but because of who they are. They carry insecurity, bitterness, jealousy, and anger in their hearts. And when they speak out of that poison, it is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their wounds. If you respond in anger, you take on their poison. But if you respond with silence, you keep your soul clean. You protect your dignity. You show that you are above the mess. Silence also guards your energy. Every time you argue with someone who is committed to misunderstanding you, you waste energy that could have been invested in your growth. Every time you let your emotions get tangled in the words of those who don't value you, you drain yourself of the strength needed for your purpose. Silence is not just about ignoring others. It is about preserving yourself. It is about saving your energy for what truly matters. It is about saying, I refuse to waste my power on people who cannot receive it. There is wisdom in holding your peace. There is wisdom in refusing to enter battles that don't build you. There is wisdom in staying quiet when words would only create more chaos. Because silence is not the absence of power, it is the management of it. It is choosing to use your strength for your destiny instead of wasting it in distractions. Silence speaks. It speaks louder than arguments. It speaks louder than shouting. It speaks louder than any insult you could throw back. Silence says, I value my peace more than your provocation. Silence says, I am too focused on where I am going to stop and wrestle with you here. Silence says, cannot pull me down because I know how to rise above. Your silence becomes a language that communicates dignity and strength without a single word being spoken. Some people will not understand your silence. They will misinterpret it. They will think you are afraid or weak or without words. You don't need to explain your silence because your life will speak for you. Your growth will speak for you. Your peace will speak for you. Your progress will speak for you. And when they see you still standing tall, still moving forward, still thriving despite their attempts to drag you down, they will realize that your silence was not weakness, it was wisdom. There is also protection in silence when you are silent. You avoid saying words that you may regret. Words once spoken cannot be taken back. They can heal, but they can also wound deeply. Silence allows you to choose wisely. It gives you space to think, space to breathe, space to respond with wisdom rather than react with emotion. Silence ensures that you protect not only your dignity, but also the relationships that may still matter in your life. Sometimes saying nothing is the most loving thing you can do. Sometimes holding your tongue is the most mature thing you can do. And silence doesn't mean you are ignoring the truth. It doesn't mean you are blind to what was said or done. It means you are choosing a higher way. It means you are choosing peace over pettiness, wisdom over foolishness, self-control over chaos. Silence means you have reached a place of maturity where you no longer feel the need to prove yourself to anyone. It means you are secure enough in who you are to let your character speak louder than your words. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it is necessary. You only have so much strength to give, so much time to spend, so much peace to maintain. If you allow every disrespect, every insult, every negative comment to drain you, you will have nothing left for the things that truly matter. Silence is the discipline of guarding your energy for the right battles, the right people, the right opportunities. It is learning to walk away from what depletes you and hold on to what sustains you. When you choose silence, you are not running away. You are rising above. You are saying, my destiny is too important to be distracted. My purpose is too great to be diminished. Future is too valuable to be wasted in arguments that will not matter tomorrow. Silence is not avoidance. Silence is focus. It is clarity. It is strength. Even nature itself teaches us the power of silence. The ocean is silent before a storm. The mountain is silent yet immovable. The stars are silent yet shine their light across the universe. Silence has always been a place of power. It is in silence that you recharge, in silence that you reflect, in silence that you find direction, in silence that you discover strength you did not know you had. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, the next time you are tempted to argue back, the next time disrespect rises against you, remember this truth. Silence is a powerful response that protects your dignity and your energy. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to explain yourself to every critic. You don't have to answer every insult. Sometimes your silence will be your greatest strength, your greatest testimony, your greatest weapon. Hold on to your dignity. Guard your energy. Let silence be your shield and your wisdom. While others waste their breath on things that do not matter, you will rise higher, go further, and live in the peace that only comes to those who understand the power of silence. Because in the end, silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is not weakness, it is strength. It is not retreat, it is victory. Silence is a powerful response that keeps you whole, preserves your peace, protects both your dignity and your energy. There comes a moment in every person's life when you realize that your silence is not simply the absence of words, it is the presence of wisdom. It is the shield of your dignity, and it is the announcement of your value. Choosing silence is never about weakness. It is about recognizing who you are, what you carry, and where you are going. Silence becomes the language of those who know their worth and who understand that their future is too important to be sacrificed on the altar of unnecessary battles. When you choose silence, you are not running from the fight. You are rising above it. You are saying, I am too valuable to spend my energy here. I am too focused to be distracted by what doesn't matter, too aware of my worth to let someone's disrespect pull me down. Silence is not about ignoring life. It is about prioritizing life. It is about knowing that not every comment, not every insult, not every provocation deserves your attention. Your silence is a declaration that says, my future means more than this moment. People who do not understand your worth will try to measure you by your reactions. They will try to stir your emotions just to see if they can pull you out of your character. They will test you with their words, with their actions, their schemes. But when you choose silence, you send a message that cannot be ignored. You let them know that your self-worth is not up for debate. You let them know that you do not measure yourself by their approval, and you will not waste yourself on their disrespect. Silence is a language of maturity. Tells the world that you know who you are, and you do not need to argue about it. You don't have to scream to prove your value. You don't have to fight to show your strength. Your silence is evidence that you are secure in yourself. Because when you know your worth, you do not need to fight for validation. You already have it within, and silence does more than just preserve your dignity. It keeps your focus sharp. Life is a journey, and along that journey, there will always be distractions. Some distractions come dressed as opportunities, others come dressed as attacks. But every distraction has one purpose: to keep you from moving forward, and that is why silence is powerful. It is a way of saying, I refuse to be sidetracked. I refuse to lose sight of my vision. Refuse to allow what is temporary to steal from what is eternal. Your future depends on your ability to guard your focus. If you waste your words on every critic, if you waste your energy on every battle, if you waste your time explaining yourself to those who have already chosen not to understand you, you will never have enough left for the life you are building. When you choose silence, you are making a bold statement. I will not give my future away to distractions. You are protecting your destiny from the drain of petty conflicts. Choosing silence also puts you in alignment with wisdom. There is wisdom in knowing when to speak and when to hold your tongue. There is wisdom in understanding that some conversations are not worth having. There is wisdom in realizing that sometimes the most powerful answer is no answer at all. Silence allows you to listen more, to observe more, to learn more. It gives you the space to grow in clarity instead of drowning in noise. Silence is not passive, it is intentional. It is an active choice to rise higher, to focus deeper, to value yourself enough to walk away from anything that cheapens your worth. It takes far more strength to be silent than it does to shout back. Anybody can lose their temper. Anybody can throw words carelessly. But it takes power to stand still, to remain calm, to choose silence when everything in you wants to react. That restraint is not weakness. It is strength under control. It is proof that you're mastering yourself, and choosing silence does something remarkable. It reveals truth. When you don't react, people reveal who they really are. When you don't respond, their actions echo louder. Silence gives them room to expose themselves without your interference. It keeps the spotlight on their behavior while you walk away with your character intact. You don't need to argue for people to see the difference. Your silence makes the difference visible. Silence also heals. It keeps you from speaking words that could wound others or scar yourself. It gives you space to process, to breathe, to release the weight of anger without causing damage. In silence, you find the strength to move forward without bitterness. In silence, you protect your heart from being consumed by negativity. In silence, you preserve your energy for the battles that actually matter, the ones that shape your future. When you choose silence, you are investing in your future self. You are protecting your mind from being cluttered by noise. You are preserving your energy for the dreams you are building. You are securing your dignity so that when you step into your tomorrow, you are not weighed down by regrets from unnecessary conflicts. Silence today creates strength for tomorrow. It says, I will not let this moment destroy what I am building. And never let anyone convince you that your silence means you are weak. Weakness is reacting to every insult. Weakness is giving your power away to every critic. Weakness is allowing distractions to rob you of your vision. Silence, that is strength. Silence says, I have nothing to prove to you because I already know who I am. Silence says, energy is too precious to waste. Silence says, I am walking toward a future that is too bright to let darkness stop me here. Choosing silence is choosing yourself. It is choosing your peace, your purpose, your destiny. It is choosing to say, I matter too much to waste myself on this. It is choosing to walk away with your dignity intact and your energy preserved. It is choosing to focus on your future rather than getting trapped in the pettiness of the present. So the next time someone disrespects you, the next time life tries to provoke you, the next time you feel the urge to argue back, remember this truth: choosing silence is not weakness, it is strength. It is not avoidance, it is wisdom. It is not surrender, it is victory. Because in your silence, you declare your worth. In your silence, you protect your energy. In your silence, you keep your eyes on the future. And when the dust settles, your silence will speak for you. Your growth will speak for you. Your success will speak for you. Your peace will speak for you. Because choosing silence is not just about this moment. It is about declaring to the world and to yourself, I know my worth. I am focused on my future. There is a power in silence that many people cannot comprehend. Silence is often misunderstood. Some believe silence means surrender, that it means you have nothing to say, or that you are too weak to respond. But silence, chosen after you've been disrespected, is one of the most unsettling responses you can ever give to another person. It disrupts their expectations. It denies them the satisfaction of your anger, and it forces them to sit with the weight of their own actions. At the same time, that same silence is working on you in a different way. While it unsettles them, it heals you. When someone disrespects you, their goal is often to provoke you. They wanted to draw you out of your peace. They want to see you angry, to see you break character, to see you fight on their level. They want to watch you lose control so they can feel that they have power over you. But when you refuse to respond, when you choose silence instead of retaliation, you leave them with nothing to feed on. They are unsettled because they expected a storm and got calm. They are unsettled because they prepared for a fight and found no opponent. They are unsettled because your silence shines a light on their behavior. That light is often too much for them to handle. Silence after disrespect acts like a mirror. It reflects their ugliness back to them. It shows them the weight of their own words and actions without the distraction of your reaction. And that is deeply uncomfortable because when you respond with anger, they can focus on your anger. But when you respond with silence, the only thing left to focus on is what they did, what they said, and who they are. Your silence unsettles them because it forces them to face themselves. Silence is not just about them, it is also about you. When you choose silence, you protect your spirit, you keep your dignity intact, you preserve your energy, and more importantly, you open the door to healing. Disrespect can cut deep. It can wound your heart and stir your emotions. Reacting in anger only adds to the wound. When you lash out, when you argue back, when you fight fire with fire, you often burn yourself in the process. Silence, on the other hand, gives you space to breathe. It gives you room to process the pain without making it worse. It allows you to step away from the chaos and begin the work of healing. Silence is a balm to your soul. It stops the cycle of attack and reaction, breaks the chain of conflict. It keeps you from carrying the poison of bitterness. In silence, you learn to let go instead of hold on. In silence, you allow peace to flow back into your heart. In silence, you protect your future from being poisoned by the pain of the present. There is a reason why silence is often stronger than words. Words can wound, words can escalate, words can entangle you in battles that leave you drained. But silence carries a strength that cannot be argued with. It cannot be twisted. It cannot be used against you. It cannot be misunderstood. Silence stands on its own, unshakable and clear. And while others may question it, your silence is working on two levels, unsettling them and healing you. Silence unsettles them because it robs them of control. They thought they had you figured out. They thought they could pull you into their game. They thought they could push the right buttons and watch you explode. But your silence denies them that power. It says, you do not control me. You do not own my emotions. You cannot dictate my peace. That unsettles them because it shows them you are stronger than they believed. Silence heals you because it keeps you anchored in your own worth. It says to your heart, I will not let this break me. I will not let this define me. Let this disrespect rob me of my peace. Silence gives you the gift of distance. It allows you to step back, to see the situation for what it is, and to choose growth over bitterness. In silence, you protect your energy so that you can invest it where it truly matters. Your dreams, your future, your healing. Too often, people think healing comes through revenge. They believe that striking back, getting even, or proving a point will make the pain go away. That is not healing. That is temporary satisfaction that often leaves you emptier than before. True healing comes when you refuse to be pulled into the cycle of disrespect. True healing comes when you choose peace over war, silence over shouting, dignity over retaliation. True healing comes when you refuse to let another person's behavior decide your worth. Your silence will always speak louder than your words. People may not admit it, but they feel it. They hear it. They are haunted by it. Because silence is not the absence of communication. It is communication on a higher level. Your silence says, I know my worth. Your silence says, this does not define me. Your silence says, I am too focused on where I am going to stop here. Every time you choose silence after disrespect, you are practicing strength. You are training your spirit to rise above. You are teaching yourself that you do not have to respond to everything thrown your way. And with every choice of silence, you heal a little more. You break free from the need to be validated by others. You grow more secure in who you are. You reclaim your peace. Silence unsettles them, but it heals you. and that is the balance you need. Let them wrestle with their own behavior, stew in their own actions. Let them be unsettled by the calm you carry. That is not your battle. Your battle is to protect your peace, to guard your dignity, to heal your heart, and to keep walking toward your future. So the next time disrespect comes knocking, remember this truth: is your silence is your power. Your silence unsettles those who tried to provoke you, because it reveals their own behavior and denies them the reaction they wanted. While they wrestle with that, your silence is also healing you, restoring your peace, and preserving your strength for what lies ahead. Do not underestimate the strength of silence. It is both a weapon and a healer. It disarms your enemies and it repairs your soul, unsettles them and it strengthens you. It reveals their weakness and it protects your worth. And in the end, your silence will do far more than your words ever could.